Video will show you the procedure for operating the Cuttermaster tool grinder. The machine is easy to learn and you'll be sharpening the tools you want within minutes. First, we'll go over a few basic safety points. It's important that you follow these guidelines at all times, 450 RPM, and never use a grinding wheel that is cracked or has any kind of defect. Prior to turning the motor on, always ensure that the wheel hub nut is secure and flush with the wheel. When using a new grinding wheel for the first time, start the motor from the rear of the machine and let it run for a minute in case of cracks or damage to the grinding wheel which may have occurred in shipping. Don't wear ties, loose clothing, or any item that could possibly become caught up or entangled in the grinding wheel. PSI. Don't use the air bearing in temperatures below 65 degrees, as colder temperatures can cause metal expansion that will cause the air bearing to lose its clearance for airflow. Slide the air bearing fixture on the X-axis table by aligning the two guide pins into the T-slot on the X-axis table. Position the right-hand side of the air bearing's black swivel base approximately 1.5 inches, 40 millimeters, from the right end of the table. Set the angle of the swivel base to 2 degrees to the left side of 0 to facilitate a 2-degree angle fishtail on the NT. And securely tighten the retaining nut that is on top of the black swivel base. If you want a flat bottom end on the end mill, set the air bearing swivel base angle to 0 or whatever angle you wish. Put the machine to the brass fitting on the back side of the air bearing fixture. The arrow that indicates airflow direction on the air filter should be pointing towards the air bearing after installation. Use Teflon tape to reduce air loss. Connect an air supply with a minimum of 90 psi to the air filter using a quick disconnect setup. The air filter we supply you is a water trap only. Never use any kind of oil or lubricant in either the air filter or the air bearing fixture itself, and never move the air bearing without at least 90 pounds of air pressure applied. Check the pivot screws on the air bearing to ensure that they have not loosened in transit. They should be tight enough so that the air bearing has no side-to-side movement, yet loose enough so that it can rock freely. Slide the stylus bracket assembly in the slot on the front face of the air bearing and tighten it. Clean the air bearing fixture out thoroughly. Remove the spindle carefully, leaving the air on. This allows any dust or debris that may have settled in the air spindle housing during the packing shipping process to be blown out of the air ports. Keep the air on. Clean the inside of the air bearing housing with a cleaning solution that leaves no residue, such as acetone or MEK. Do not use WD-40, glass wax, or any other type cleaner. After cleaning the inside manifold, keep the air on for a minute to allow the cleaning solution to fully evaporate, and then wipe the inside again with a dry, clean cloth. Clean the air spindle with the same solution and carefully replace the spindle back into the housing. It is important to periodically clean the air spindle in this manner to ensure long life. Thoroughly wipe out the inside of the air bearing spindle where the collet goes. Debris that come between the collet and the inner spindle surfaces will affect your concentricity. Air bearing fixture while dressing the wheel. Manually dress the wheel at a 10 to 20 degree angle using a dressing stick. The angle itself is not important. What you're doing is creating a sharp edge. For sharpening high-speed steel tools, we recommend that you use a CBN wheel, as they do not require dressing and there's no wheel breakdown, which means that they're much more accurate. They also provide the best finish. If you'll be sharpening carbide tools, you'll have to use a diamond wheel. Never use a CBN or aluminum oxide wheel on carbide.